Well, everyone, it's time for us to do a comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 and the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 and see which specific tablet you should go and pick up. Now, what I will tell you is that if you do own the Galaxy Tab S7, I probably wouldn't go and upgrade to the Tab S8 just yet, but do keep in mind, even though there's only one number between them, the S7, the S8, there's actually pretty much 2 generations of devices and chipsets that are between these devices, so that's a big thing to keep in mind. Now, I'm comparing the base models, the S7 and the S8. The Tab S8 Ultra is probably the best tablet, or one of the best tablets you can buy in the market right now. So if you have all the money in the world, go for the Tab S8 Ultra. But the Tab S8 is still a very good tablet, and so is the Tab S7. Now, I will leave both these links in the description. You can get them from there, help support the channel at the same time. Now, on the front of these tablets, they kind of have the same type of look to them. They have the same type of design, and really, when you kind of look at them side by side, they're almost exactly the same. I couldn't really tell you which one is which. On the Tab S7, we have an 11-inch TFT panel. It's 120 Hz, and the resolution is 1600 by 2560. But funny enough, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8, in the exact same footprint, has the 11-inch, TFT panel, 120 Hz, 1600 by 2560 as well. So again, you're getting pretty much the same type of experience on both, which is really good. One thing I love about both these tablets is that they feel extremely premium in the hand. One doesn't feel cheaper than the other one. They have the same exact architecture, and when it comes down to it, I like the way both of them feel, and I like the way both of them look. So in terms of the front, that kind of covers it up there. They both have USB Type-C ports on the bottom with Samsung DeX ability. So you can go ahead and dock it up and use it as, kind of like a PC if you want to, which is another really awesome thing. On the back, we have the full metallic back, which looks beautiful as well. And again, this is one of my favorite things about these Samsung tablets, is that they've always pretty much felt premium for the last few generations. Sometimes they were built out of plastic and stuff, but these things recently look beautiful. You also have the stylus support on the back as well, where you can go ahead and leave your stylus on there. You can go ahead and charge. It's the S Pen, and that's another really cool thing that you have going for both of them. You have micro SD card slots on both of these tablets as well, and you have a dual camera setup on the corners too. Now again, when you're feeling both these tablets, you are probably not going to tell which one is which. They look almost identical. The easiest way to kind of tell is when you look at them on the back. The Galaxy Tab S7 does have a little bit more of a silver lining to that S Pen. The Galaxy Tab S8 has more of a darker lining, so really that's really the biggest thing I could tell for the most part. Now in terms of all this, they're both kind of the same thing in terms of the camera department as well. So on the back, we have a dual camera setup on both. The Galaxy Tab S7 has that 13 megapixel wide angle lens and then 5 megapixel ultra wide sensor. The Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 has that 13 megapixel wide angle lens, then 6 megapixel ultra wide sensor. Now there's also some really big differences on the front as well. The Tab S7 has an 8 megapixel front facing wide angle lens. The Tab S8 has that 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor. Now really big differences on the front. 4K at 60 capability on the Tab S8 and only 1080p on the front of the Tab S7. Right there is a really big difference. Samsung has made probably the biggest improvement, not only in terms of the internals, but the camera setup as well. They really made some really big improvements in the camera setup. Now, they also added the ability of doing 4K at 60 on the back of the Tab S8. When the Tab S7, we could only do 4K at 30. So that's another slight thing to keep in mind. I think both these cameras are great, but you are definitely getting a more worthwhile experience from something like the Tab S8 than on the Tab S7. I don't really think people are picking up either one of these, tablets because of the camera, but if you want the better camera between the two, the Tab S8 is definitely the better way to go, and I prefer having a camera like the Tab S8 that has the ability of doing 4K at 60 on the front and the back than the Tab S7 that really can't even do 4K at 60 on either of the lenses. But you have the same type of capability on the back. You have the wide and ultra wide lens, but you do have that ultra wide sensor on the front, which I love on the Tab S8, which definitely looks a little bit better. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. Now in terms of the software and the longevity, they're both rocking the same exact software right now for the most part. We're on One UI and everything, but the Tab S8 is definitely going to outlast the Tab S7 when it comes down to it. Like I mentioned, even though there's only one number different between these two, there's pretty much 2 generations of devices between these two and 2 generations of chipsets. So because of that, the Tab S7 is probably going to last as long as the Galaxy S20, and the Tab S8 is probably going to last as long as probably the Galaxy S22. So that's probably the best way to put it. And if you guys know anything about how Samsung's been increasing their software longevity, the Tab S8 is going to last for a much longer period of time than the Tab S7, We don't know for 100% fact yet. We're going to find out as time progresses, but that's pretty much the main thing I can probably sum it up here. And I'll probably tell you the Tab S8 is definitely the better one when it comes down to the software. The Tab S7 is still great, very good tablet, but the Tab S8 is the better one for sure. Now hitting on the performance, this is another really big difference. The Tab S7 had that Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 chipset inside of it with 6 gigs of RAM on the base model and then 8 gigs of RAM on the top 2 tier models. Now with the Galaxy Tab S8, we have that brand new Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset inside of it with 8 gigabytes of RAM on the base models and then 12 gigabytes of RAM on the top tier model. So we are now getting pretty much 2 gigabytes extra RAM for the base model, but we can spec it out up to 4 gigabytes extra than the top tier model of the Tab S7. So you're getting a much better just chipset and much better performance in general on the Galaxy Tab S8 than on the Tab S7. But what I will tell you is the Tab S7 was still a very good performing tablet. Really anything I did with that specific tablet, it handled it perfectly fine. I couldn't really tell you too many times where the Tab S7 would, be slow on me. Of course, it's not the fastest experience of all time. And even with the 120 Hz, I feel like it could have done a better job here and there, but I do love the Tab S7 and I do think it's actually a really good experience, especially with that S Pen. You can go ahead and do whatever you want to with it, and that's a really cool thing and really cool option that you have on something like the Tab S7. Now on the Tab S8, it definitely takes it up a notch. I mean, this thing has the best chipset right now. The Galaxy Tab S8 pretty much has the same type of performance as the Galaxy S22. The Galaxy Tab S7 has the same performance as the Galaxy S20. Again, probably the best way to water it down. And I do think the Tab S7 is still a very good phone, just like the S20 is still a very good phone. But the S22 and the Tab S8 with that Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset, this is pretty much the future. This is what, Snapdragon is kind of focusing in on. And they want to go ahead and make it as great of an experience as possible, so then no other manufacturers go ahead and start using their own silicon chips, because they want, to kind of keep up with something like the A series of chipsets from Apple. They also want to keep up with the Google Tensor chipset that Google just made. So when it comes down to it, this device, both of them have really good performance inside of them, but the Tab S8, from all the gaming that I've done, for all the testing that I've done, that is a very good performing tablet, and I'm super happy about the type of performance from that specific machine. So in terms of that covers it up there. Now in terms of battery life, they have the same exact battery sizes, 8,000 milliamp hours, which is perfectly fine. That's still a good size battery to have on this thing. And I will tell you, just like I've told you before, I like having bigger size batteries, but when it comes down to these, they're exactly the same. So there's really not too much to complain about or too much to compare here. They're both very good tablets when it comes down to it. But again, I like the Tab S8 because of the better performance and everything. And that kind of takes me to the end of this video. And to be completely honest, I like both these tablets. If you have the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7, I really wouldn't go for the Tab S8. I think it's a really good upgrade, but I feel like you might as well wait for the Tab S9 and then pretty much go from there. I love the Tab S7 though. It's very good tablet, but it's quite obvious which one is the better one here. The Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 is the better tablet in pretty much every single area. It has better performance, way better cameras, much longer software ahead of it too. So you're getting just a better tablet in every single area. Really, the only thing that it's missing is bigger battery, but other than that, it's almost like that perfect upgrade for a lot of people. But if you have the Tab S7, like if I had the Tab S7, I don't think I would go for the Tab S8. I think it's, a really good upgrade, and it might be kind of teasing for me to upgrade at some point, but I think the Tab S7 is still a very good tablet. If the Tab S8 was a 10 out of 10 perfect tablet in my opinion, the Tab S7 is probably like a solid 8.5. Really the biggest thing is missing is the software longevity ahead of it. It's really not going to last as long as the Tab S8. Other than that, I think I could get away with the slower performance, the less RAM here and there, and maybe even the watered down camera a little bit. But the Tab S8 is a very good tablet. And you know what? If you want to upgrade, go for it. But I would probably keep a Tab S7. But the choice is yours. Like I mentioned, if you want to pick these things up, links are down in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed the video, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.